Alrighty, welcome everybody to today's webinar. We are going to go ahead and get started here. Alrighty, so thank you again for joining us. If you can, please, if you haven't already done so, tell us in the chat where you're joining us from and what grade levels you teach. That would be great. Alrighty, well, welcome to CodeMonkey's Office Hours Open Question Session for Teachers. The CodeMonkey team wants to personally thank you for joining us for our webinar today. Our goal today is to make sure that you are covered for teaching CodeMonkey with your students. This session is based around questions that we have recently received from our teachers, and we will also answer your questions during today's webinar. So please make sure to put those in the Q&A box as they come up. We also know that some of you are using CodeMonkey with your students during distance learning, and you might be looking to learn more about how to use the platform in a remote environment, so feel free to ask those questions as well. We will go over today a few of our main features, mainly the ones that we've been getting a lot of questions on and that we feel would be the most helpful for you. But as always, we love to hear any questions from you. So let's go ahead and get started, where we are going to write code, catch bananas, and save the world. So we're going to go ahead and get started by introducing today's panelist.
Hi, everybody. I'm Talia. I'm the head of customer success at CodeMonkey, and I'll be here to show you a few of our features and answer some of your questions throughout the webinar.
Great, thank you, Talia. And my name is Lena Saleh, and I'm the PD and sales manager, and will be also leading and facilitating today's webinar.
Hi, everyone. I'm Molly. I'm working out of Salt Lake City, Utah, and I am on the sales team. I will be helping out with this webinar and answering the Q&A questions and questions that come up in chat. So please send any of those through so that we can make sure that we get them addressed.
Great, thank you, Molly. Oops, didn't mean to get through there. We also want to mention to please follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at CodeMonkeySTU. And today during the webinar, you can also tweet at us using the hashtag CodeMonkeyWebinar, and we'll do our best to get to any live tweets during today's webinar. So let's go ahead and get ready to write code, catch bananas, and save the world. Today's webinar objectives are we're going to go over the classrooms and students' access to the platform, how to add co-teachers, limiting progress, the lesson feature, gradebook and proficiency report, and of course, we will leave time for Q&A at the end of today's beginning session. You can also access our series of teacher and student geared webinars at codemonkey.com/webinars. So feel free to join us there too if you missed anything. We will be having our Hour of Code webinar this year, December 2nd, 2020. We are also going to be announcing some really fun other webinars that we have coming up with our founders from CodeMonkey. So we're excited to share that with you and with your students. So we hope that you will be able to join us. You can find that also registration for that on our webinars page. Oh, okay. All right. Sorry, Talia, do you want to take it away?
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go over a few things that you saw in the objectives. I want to do a quick demo of some of the features. And you can feel free to leave your questions in the Q&A box or in the chat, and we'll get to it during the demo or in the Q&A session. So we really want to make it dynamic session where we just take your questions and we answer them throughout the demo. So I'm going to share my screen now. And I'm going to do the first few basic things I'm gonna log in first to my teacher account using the Google, my Google account. Basically, I'm using Google because I want to show you after how you can import your Google Classrooms onto CodeMonkey. So it's a sort of new integration that we have. But in order to access that, in order to be able to import your Google Classrooms, you need to make sure that you sign in through your Google account, which you use for your Google Classrooms. So basically, the first thing I do is I need to create a classrooms because that's where I add my students, and that's how my students can start accessing CodeMonkey. So the first thing I would do is create a new classroom by clicking on create new classroom and giving my classroom a name. And just making sure it's connected to either my active subscription, or if I'm just using a trial, then to my trial, but you need to choose a subscription, and creating a classroom. And then the next thing that you would do is add students. So you can just follow this pop-up message here, or you can also just click on the classroom, but I'll just let it take me directly to the classroom dashboard where I can add my students. So I just want to show quickly the three methods we have for adding students. I saw somebody asking about Clever, so this will be relevant also for you. But the first two ways are for you as a teacher to create accounts for your students. So you can either create a single account, or if you already have all your group, you can use a CSV file and just upload the CSV file, and the system will create all the accounts for you. And these two methods are actually really great for the younger students who you want to create their accounts for them. And also if they're accessing CodeMonkey from home, you can also, after you created their accounts, you can provide them with two ways for easier access. So I'm going to actually show you that now quickly. I'll just go to a classroom where I already have students. And we have two ways to provide easier access for your students. The first one being the login cards. So that's something that you can either print out or send to your students. I'll show you that. So that's the login cards. It has the student's username and password. So, you know, if they tend to forget their password, that's something great to give them. And the other way to provide your students with easy access is using the classroom login URL. This is great because it means less typing for your students. All they need to do is locate their username, click on it, and enter their password, and they're in. So instead of going to codemonkey.com, they would just go to this URL. So you can share it somewhere, maybe through Google Classrooms, and they click on the URL, they locate their username, click, enter their password, and they are in their account. So those are the two first ways to add, to create students and have them access their account. The other way is by sharing a class code. So for students who are joining from home, or perhaps older students, we recommend using this method. Basically for your students who are using any single sign-on options, Google, for example, Clever, ClassLink, this will be the way that they will join their classroom. It's actually quite an easy thing. They would copy this, you can share with them this code, and they'll go to the CodeMonkey sign up page, and they can use the code to enter their classroom. If we'll have time, I can show you that process after. Another nice thing that we have is what we call the classroom sign up page. Basically, this is a URL that already has the classroom code in it. So you can share this with your students, and then they'll automatically be directed to a sign up page that once they sign up, they will be in their classroom. So they won't need to enter the code themselves. So this URL already has the code in it. So that's great for having your students join your classroom. That's the method of joining the classroom using the classroom code. I do want to show you also how you can import your Google Classrooms. And again, that's only if you've used your Google account to log into CodeMonkey. And again, clicking on Create New Classroom, and you can see I have this option right here, Import from Google. Basically, if this is your first time using it, you might need to authorize CodeMonkey to get access to your Google Classrooms. And now once I've chosen this option, all I need to do is choose the classroom I want to import. So I'm going to choose my Monday class, and I'm going to choose to connect it to my subscription. And now I'm importing my classroom, and I can only import classrooms that I have on my Google Classrooms that I am a teacher on. So you might have, and we've been getting these questions, you might have a colleague who is also sharing your subscription and also wants to import their Google Classroom. So they would actually need to add you as a teacher onto their Google Classroom for you to be able to import the classroom. So that's just something I wanted to point out. And great, so I imported my classroom, and basically I imported all the students that were in my roster on Google Classroom. I imported them to my classroom as well. So basically now all they need to do is log in to CodeMonkey. And I'll show you that just a second. I want to show you another nice thing is that, let's see our roster right here. Right, so I have here 2 students, and basically any changes that I want to do in my roster, say I want to remove a student, or maybe I want to change the classroom name. So you need to make these changes from Google Classrooms, and then you can use the sync classroom button here on the top, and it will automatically update your classroom on CodeMonkey just as it appears on Google Classroom. We have a question here from Raquel. What if we want to import a classroom that already used the trial? Can we save their progress and continue? So that's a great question. First of all, I'll start by saying that students' progress is always saved to their account. So even if they move classroom or they move between subscriptions, their progress is always saved. So no need to worry about that. And I'll show you in just a second how you can move your classroom from your trial to a new subscription. So if you already imported that classroom, that they're already on CodeMonkey, you might have purchased a subscription and you want those students to enjoy the subscription. So you'll just move the classroom to your new subscription. And I'll show you that in a few minutes. And I just want to show you now the student side. Okay, so I'm back in the CodeMonkey.com page, and I want to log into CodeMonkey. I'm a student in the Monday classroom. And this is basically what you would need to tell your students. They would go to the login page, also click on the Google button. Basically, they need to choose their Google account, and they are in their classroom. First thing they need to do once they enter their CodeMonkey account is choose an avatar, but they are in their classroom and they can already start accessing the courses that you have assigned to them. So that's the students part and what they would need to do once you've imported the classroom onto CodeMonkey. Okay. Another thing I wanted to show you, and I'm going back to my Adventures in Coding classroom, which is a regular CodeMonkey classroom that was created on CodeMonkey. As you can see, students have usernames. I want to show you another thing that some of our teachers that have been asking if they want to add other teachers to the classroom. They can do that. You can add your colleagues as co-teachers to your classrooms. And that's something that you might do. Sometimes you would be the one creating the classroom, but you have different teachers who need access to these classrooms. Once you add the teachers through the co-teachers part, part here, they'll get an invite, they'll accept the invite, they'll log into CodeMonkey, and they'll see the classroom on their My Classrooms list. They can then access the courses, and they can basically see the classroom dashboard, manage the student accounts, and see their progress. So they basically can do anything that you can do just over the classroom that they are co-teachers on. So that's something that you can do for any of the classrooms, and as well for the Google Classrooms. Google Classrooms is also, you're able to import teachers. You would be able to import teachers that are also teachers on your classroom, but on Google Classroom site. So make sure you first added the teacher as a teacher on Google Classroom, and then the drop-down menu will allow you to choose just from the teachers that are already defined as teachers from Google Classroom. Basically, and then you click on import, and then the teacher can log in to CodeMonkey through Google and already see the classroom. Okay, so I want to move on to two features that I'd like to sort of give a spotlight on today. And this is from a survey that we've recently sent out. We've found that some users are not so familiar with these features, but the ones who are familiar with it find it very useful and helpful. So these are great features, especially if you're running a structured lesson or giving assignments using CodeMonkey, either meeting students face-to-face or in a remote environment. So I want to talk about limiting students' progress, so sort of controlling their pace. And also we'll talk about the lessons feature right here. So limiting progress is available for you within a course. So first thing you do after you've added your students would be to assign the relevant courses to your students. So I always recommend, before starting the class, going here, making sure you have the right courses assigned. Coding Adventure Part 1, as well as our Hour of Code courses, are assigned by default. So if you don't want them assigned, you can unassign them. But just visit this tab, the Courses tab, to make sure you have everything organized for your lesson. The next thing is the Progress tab. So this is basically a great place to go to see how your, let's go to this classroom. It has more students in it, more progress, much more colorful. And this is where you can go to see how your students are doing in each of our courses. So that's available for you for each of the courses. And I'm in Coding Adventure Part 1. And I have my students just playing, but let's say I want to keep them at the same pace. I don't want them to go just through the challenges without my guidance. So you are able to limit their progress by clicking on the Limit Progress buttons. And let's say I want them only to play the first 5 challenges. So I'm going to put here 5, and you'll see that everything beyond that will be grayed out. Basically, once they finish the first for the first 5 challenges, they'll get a message that the teacher has locked the rest of the challenges. At any point, you can either come back here to change and limit their progress to a different challenge, or just return them to free play. And of course, you can also limit the progress based on the last lesson taught, which I'll show you in just a moment what lessons feature is. So now I'm going to go back to free play. Okay. Okay, so I'm clicking here on the Lessons tab. And this is currently only available for Coding Adventure. So if you're teaching Coding Adventure and if you are using our lesson plans, then this feature will allow you to easily conduct your lesson. Each number here represents a lesson plan, and you can just click on the number to see that the page is divided according to the lesson plan structure. So it's all laid out for you to teach it out with your classroom. You can also access the individual lesson plan right here. Oh, sorry. Yeah, okay, I'm in lesson 2. That's okay. So you can access the individual lesson plan if you want to review it before the class, which we usually recommend. And basically, you also have your shortcuts for the challenges that the students will review throughout this lesson, as well as shortcuts to the reference cards and character review. So this really has it all laid out for you and ready for you to use and to teach. Once you're done, you can even mark the lesson is complete. And then next time you come back here, you can already know where you last left, and now that you need to continue to lesson number 3. So if you choose to use lessons this way, that's great. It helps you run your lesson if you're using our lesson plans. Or you can go even further and use our lesson mode. And lesson mode is a great distinct, it's a great way to use lessons and have a part where you're teaching and the part where the students are playing. So it prevents your students from going too far ahead or being distracted. Basically, using lessons, once you enter lesson mode, your students will go into lesson mode, meaning they won't be able to access any of the courses until you decide that it's time to assign the challenges and have them play. So until then, you can go through the introduction, explain what you're about to do, and when you're ready, assign the challenges and have the students start playing. Once you're done, you might want to end playtime, go into debriefing, and then when you're finished with your lesson, you can click here. You'll also have it marked in green so you know where you stopped, you know where to come back next time that you're using CodeMonkey with your students. We also have here a short tutorial on lessons, so feel free to refer to this tutorial if you want any additional explanations on how to use this feature. And I think that's it for lessons. Let's see if we had here any questions. Oh, before we'll continue, I did want to show the part of how to move a classroom between subscriptions. I'm going to go back to the classrooms page, and we have here a classroom that is connected to an old subscription, but you can also see this as a classroom that is connected to a trial, which now I want to move to my new subscription. And we have this upgrade button right here, which allows me to move classrooms between subscriptions. So once I move the classroom, all the students in the classroom move also to the new subscription. So this pop-up message kind of gives me a review. If I need to remove some of the students before upgrading the classroom, I'm able to do that. But basically, I want to continue with these 4 students. Next thing I need to do is to choose the subscription I want to move the classroom to, and click on upgrade. And now, as you can see, the classroom is already part of my new subscription. All the progress that the students made is kept. All they need to do is log in and they continue from where they last stopped. Okay, Lena, do you want to continue?
Hold on one moment. All righty, thank you, Talia, for that part. And now we're gonna go ahead and get into a couple of the new features here. Right, let me just reshare my screen here. All right, so some things that I wanted to cover that are newer to, interesting. Okay, you should be able to see my screen. Talia, can you see my Classrooms page?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Just want to make sure. Okay, so something that is newer to the CodeMonkey platform and something I just wanted to discuss was if I go into my own teacher classroom here, in each of the classrooms page, there's a new feature that we recently added, and that is the Proficiency Table. And so when you go into the gradebook within your classroom, you will see here at the top, you can see by course or by proficiency. So in the proficiency table, you will be able to see all of your students that are listed within that classroom. And then you're able to see the coding concepts that are covered throughout all of the courses in Coding Adventure. You will also be able to see what level your students are at within those coding concepts. So we can see where our students are proficiency-wise based on the concepts of which they're working. And so those will fill in as a student's progresses. And then one more thing I would like to show you here is on our courses page. I know Talia was showing you the courses and things like that, but we just recently added these banners to the top of each of the courses, and they tell you what language each of the courses are. So if they're block-based or text-based coding, and then what level it is for students. So that's just something good to note as far as, you know, you're not sure which courses to start with your students, there's that there for you. So you have a reference point as well.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, great. I did want to also show the part of logging in as a student to a classroom using the class code, because that's also always a part that I talk about, but I never show, and I think I should show that part. Let me also share my screen again. Okay, and basically the first thing I need to do is, of course, share the class code with my students. And where do I find the class code? Where I showed you the first place is when I click to add new students. I have there the class code method, but you can always find your classroom codes right here, or by clicking on the classroom from the classroom dashboard. I can also locate it from the Students tab. Right, so it's also right here, and I'll copy that for now. Also, when I click on Add Student, I also have the class code here. And at any point, if you want, the class code is unique for your classroom, and you can at any point click here to generate a new class code. If you feel like the students have been passing around the code, we've encountered that as well, and you have students who you don't or are not part of your classroom joining your classroom, just create a new code for your classroom. So I'm gonna go now and join the classroom and just log out. Okay, so basically from CodeMonkey, the first thing I would do, I'm a new student, I want to join my classroom. I'll click on the sign up, and I'll choose student. I'm going to be asked if I have a classroom code. Yes, I have a class code. Now I need to enter the class code. Will I copy the class code from before? Great, and now the next step would be to create my account. If I'm using any of these single sign-ons, I can just choose them and use them for my CodeMonkey account. I think it's great. We see many users, teachers, students using that. It's just less passwords to remember. But for now, I'm going to actually create my own username and password. I might add a few characters to it. Okay, so last stop before, I'm also getting this reminder. I can download a copy of my username and password because I tend to forget my passwords. Let's start. And great, again, choosing my avatar. I have my new account. I'm in my account. As you can see, I'm in the courses page where I can already start the courses that are assigned to my classroom. So that was the process of joining a classroom using the class code. Your students can create their own accounts either by creating their own username and password or by using any of the single sign-on options. If your students are using Clever, they can also either go through the Clever single sign-on, or you can add CodeMonkey to your Clever portal and have them click on CodeMonkey through the Clever portal or class link. That's available also there.
And then just something to note here on this page, recently added to the platform itself as well, is you'll see the courses on top that are assigned by the teacher. So the students will still have access to the courses, only see the courses that are assigned to them. Even though all of the coding adventure courses are assigned, it still works in the same way that it worked before. The students do have to work through the courses in order to have access to them. And then all of the courses that are within the subscription but are not available to them will now be listed below.
Right, so they don't need to scroll down to find the course. They have it here on top. Okay, let's see. Lina, let's go back to the question slide because we had a few questions that you've sent us before the webinar. So we have time to cover those as well in our slides.
Yep.
Great.
Okay, so we have a couple of questions that had been asked beforehand. So we want to make sure that we're also honoring your time as much as honor your time and your questions. So what order should my students be completing the courses? And so I'm just going to go ahead and show you where you can find that at. So on the CodeMonkey.com page, right here, you're able to find our basically essential scope here. Your sales rep or somebody that has worked with you on your account can also share with you a customized scope and sequence, but the courses will be listed here. So we have them listed from our kindergarten grade level all the way up to our 9th grade level, and based on the block-based moving to text-based coding there. So just definitely recommend that students in grades 3 through 8 start working on text-based coding. It's great to introduce them with the block-based coding. Coding Adventure is in CoffeeScript, so that's a shorter version of JavaScript and Python, Coffee Java. And then moving right along to Banana Tails is our full Python course. So it's more of an intermediate course. So it's good for the students to have background knowledge in some coding before they attempt the Python itself. So that's a great question. The next one is, how do I know which standards CodeMonkey is aligned to? So I'll show you where you can find that. Those are all listed within the lesson plans themselves or at the bottom of the CodeMonkey.com webpage. Here, I just scroll down to the footer and you can click on standards, and there you can find the standards for each one of the courses themselves. So you can click on the course and then you're able to find the standards. Here we have the CSTA standards listed here. We also have some Common Core standards. If you're looking for something more customized standards based on your state, you can also reach out to Talia or a member of our sales team, and we're happy to provide those resources for you as well. And then another place that you can find them is in our lesson plans. So the lesson plans are located under the teaching resources in the Teaching with CodeMonkey page. And when you click on the lesson plans themselves, they will pop up within the lessons. We do have a specific slide, sorry, I went too fast there, related to the standards that are here. These are also the CSTA standards, so you can find them on the bottom of the footer of the page, or you can find them within the lesson plans themselves as well. So another great question. Upgrade, how does this work? Should I use this instead of renaming the classroom? So I know that Talia just mentioned about that, but I'll also talk about this as well. So she mentioned switching from an expired subscription to a new subscription. There is no need to recreate student accounts or to recreate that classroom. All you would do is you would click on, here I am in the My Classrooms page, the class you would like to upgrade. Essentially means to move to the new subscription. So when you click on that upgrade button, it will ask you if you're basically sure and you would like to continue. So if I would, then I choose the specific subscription that I would like this classroom attached to, and then I would click on upgrade, and now I would see the classroom attached here. If you are a co-teacher, the main teacher on the account will need to do that for you, but that is how you upgrade the subscription. Okay, so that is just some of the questions that we were asked prior. There's a question here in the Q&A. We've already used the free trial through our district's Clever platform. We need to know how to continue with our subscription. We want to access it through Clever. So I understand, Raquel, I believe that you have been working with Molly, so she'll be able to follow up with you after today's webinar regarding that. You can feel free also as well if you guys have a question. We are a pretty small group here, so if you would like to hop on and ask us a question, we're also here for that as well. Oh, if you would like to ask a question, we'll just have to unmute you so you can raise your hand, and then that way I can know to unmute you as well. All right. Very quiet group, but we're happy that you have joined us for today's webinar. All right, so once again, I'll just mention that we covered the classrooms and student access, how to add co-teachers, limiting progress, the lesson feature, gradebook, and proficiency, and we did some time for Q&A. I do just want to show you just one more thing under the teacher resources before we get moving, something that I think a lot of teachers just are not aware that it's there. So under the Teaching with CodeMonkey, we do have this Teaching with Coding Adventure certification. It's like our certification course. It will go over all of the concepts that are covered within Coding Adventure itself. So when you go here, it'll talk about the platform and it'll walk you through that. Then we also have the teacher tools, and then it'll walk you through just quick short videos about what each of these concepts are. So if you're not sure about the concepts, you can come here and work through this course itself. Another way to find those resources are by visiting our webinars page, which you can do within this Teaching with CodeMonkey. There is also an additional place that you can go, and that's into our Help Center. In the Help Center is where you'll find all of the resources that we've shared with you today about how to do your account, getting started, the classroom dashboard. Within these resources themselves, there is typically a video that's attached or screenshots, and then text to walk you through what to do. So if you're ever unsure, always check out the Help Center. But something else that's within the Help Center is if I click on, if I type in Coding Adventure, spelling that correctly there. When I type in Coding Adventure, you're able to see the coding concepts that are here. What I love most about this resource is that it will tell you where you will see these specific challenges, and then it will give you a walkthrough about what a simple loop is, what a variable is, and it gives you an example with an animated screenshot about what each of the concepts cover. So this is another way to refer to something if you're kind of stuck, you're not sure exactly where to find that resource, or maybe you're not sure about the concept and what it exactly means. That's another way. And then one more place I would like to mention is within the teacher block. So if you go up to the upper right-hand side of the screen, the 3 lines, and you click on blog, you are able to see all of our blogs that we are writing. Our teacher ambassadors are also sharing articles as well, but a really good place to find some unplugged activities for remote learning are going to be if you type in unplugged within the blog page itself. And we have created quite a bit of activities, how to explain algorithms with your kids, and exactly what that means in a unplugged manner. So just to give you a few more resources with that in-person, at-home type of learning, there's no reason students can't get moving either using Flipgrid or doing vocabulary work with a Jamboard, where each student is working through what exactly an algorithm means and how they can break that down. So those are just some different resources as well to utilize within the teacher resources themselves. And then the solutions, I know Talia had mentioned this, but I'll also mention this again. In the solutions tab within the teacher resources, you can find all of the 3-star solutions to all of our courses. That's also located in the progress page, but would like you guys to know that they are in 2 different places. And then in the classroom resources, we have all of the student certificates located here. And then in the media kit is where you can find all of the fun, cute graphics that you can share within your Google Classroom, or having the kids when they're working on Jamboard have the resources that they can use as well. All right, so it sounds like we don't have any more open questions, no raised hands, so nobody's ready to hop on the mic and share questions with us for today. So I just want to mention one more time that our Hour of Code webinar is December 2nd. That will be how to set up your classroom for Hour of Code. We'll also announce our new Hour of Code course. And then during the week, we'll have some webinars, student-facing webinars with our founders. And so we'll be announcing that soon. Just giving you guys a heads up that that's on its way. And as always, we want to remind you that if you have any questions regarding, not sure about your accounts or just different things regarding support, please reach out to us at support@codemonkey.com or on the Help Center, which you can find located on the left-hand side of your screen in the menu there, or you can go to the 3 lines and also find the Help Center there, or go directly here. You can always find up-to-date information on our Twitter and our Facebook and our Instagram at CodeMonkey STU.